Now, vertical gardening is one of the techniques that can help gardeners to make most out of their limited space. My name is Ruben Molale, and in today's video, we will discuss the benefits of vertical gardening, the types of vegetables that are natural climbers, and finally, I will showcase some of the structures that I'm using in my garden. So without wasting any further time, let's jump right into it. Now, vertical gardening is the technique that allows gardeners to grow plants and vegetables in a vertical manner instead of growing it the traditional horizontal way. And this approach can be useful or beneficial for gardeners with limited space. Now, there are many ways that vertical gardening can be implemented. You can make use of vertical planters. So these are containers or structures that has been specifically designed to be mounted to walls, and then the plants can be grown in the containers or the pocket of these structures. Now, trellises and support is another way of implementing vertical gardening, and I think many gardeners are using this approach to ensure that they grow their vegetables vertically. And the ideas or the possibilities of making use of certain structures are endless. And later in this video, in a short while, I will be showcasing some of the structures that I'm using in my garden. And finally, hanging basket is also one of the ways to grow strawberries or cherry tomatoes vertically. So you might be asking, what are the benefits of growing vertically? Well, vertical gardening just make it possible for you to maximize your limited space. So if you have a small space, you can actually increase the amount of food that you can grow, and it will just allow you to grow more food in a small space. Secondly, since the plants are lifted from the ground, it will just improve air circulation and will reduce the risk of diseases that might happen due to stagnant air or excess moisture. So vertical gardening can definitely help you to grow healthier plants. In addition to this, it reduces the risk of having pests affecting your plants. Finally, when it comes to harvesting, it is much more easier to harvest crops because they are lifted from the ground, and it will just make it much more easier for you to harvest your crop. Now let's look at some of the vegetables that you can actually use to grow during vertical gardening. So there are some vegetables that are just natural climbers. This will include your tomatoes, specifically the indeterminate varieties. Those type of tomatoes can definitely benefit if you grow them in a vertical manner. Cucumbers, your squashes, as well as runner beans and peas. So for the gardeners who are living in the southern hemisphere, most of these natural climbers are all heat-loving crops with the exception of peas. So you can actually go and implement vertical gardening by growing some of these natural climbers. Now, some of the structures that I'm using in my garden that I find very easy and low maintenance or low cost is definitely the bamboo canes. So in order to build a wigwam structure, you can use any kind of sticks, but I prefer to use the canes. You can just push approximately 6 or 8 sticks into the ground and just ensure that the sticks are approximately 30 centimeters deep in the soil. You can gather the tops of the sticks together and just tie them with a string and knot them securely. Now, the same approach can be used if you have a container garden. So approximately 2 weeks ago, I have planted these runner beans in this container with these bamboo canes. As you can see, they are growing quite nicely and they will just grow vertically. This technique can also be used even if you have a container garden to maximize your space. So last year I had serious difficulty with my tomato trellis. This year I'm trying something new. So I built this trellis with some gum poles and just a wire to allow the tomatoes to climb. So I'm looking forward to see how this trellis will work out. Vertical gardening can also bring beautiful structure into your garden. I've built an arch with some old poles and some wire. I think it will come nicely together once these plants are taking off. I've planted some runner beans, but this is just made out of wire and some old poles that I found here in my property. Now this trellis, I've made it out of bamboo sticks and some plastic garden fence. I managed to grow my peas successfully on this trellis. So this is just easy to make. I just use 2 bamboo sticks and I use some zip ties, but I had quite a good successful peas harvest by using this trellis. So this year I'm planning to extend my growing space, and in preparation for that I am building this structure to grow my butternut. So I ran out of material, but this structure is made out of poles, and I think it will be perfect to actually grow some heavy crops like my butternut. So in the next video I will be sharing my journey of converting my lawn into a garden, but this is the structure that I believe will be perfect to actually grow some of my butternut plants. So I hope you find value out of this video, and if you want to see more videos on how to maximize your yield in small spaces, check out this video and this video, and then I'll see you in the next one. Keep on sowing and growing. Cheers.